mental health affects us all. It said in a survey that I saw online, 75% of adults in the third UK national lockdown suffered with some sort of mental health. That is really scary figures. For people who had their lives together, people had their jobs, people had balance, but now they don't. I know all about mental health myself, suffering badly from OCD since I was 10. I'm now 30 years of age and it still affects me really greatly. I'm hoping that this channel brings some sort of heal and hope to people who are suffering. I haven't been on YouTube ever talking about this, but I want to start talking about it. It needs to start getting spoken about. Too many people suffering with mental illness, or whether it's OCD or any sort of mental illness, and it's on the uprise. The global pandemic spun everybody out of control. Not only did we not see it really coming, let's face it, it's been the worst thing, and it's also been the best thing for some people. Some people have found themselves, some people have been more creative, some people have, got out there into nature and come out of their cars and started walking in the countryside and understanding what beauty we have in the UK, which is a wonderful thing. I wanted to talk about my story with OCD. I think it needs speaking about, so it gives awareness to people who are suffering out there. So if you are, I got you, hopefully, and hopefully this channel will be somewhere you can come, feel joy as I progress in content. Hopefully there'll be something that you like on here. I'm going to try and be as broad, as you like on here. So so strap on your boots. But for now, we're going to talk about lockdown and OCD. Now, for me personally, my OCD starts immediately from when I wake up. When I get out of bed, there we go, I tend to do a series of counting my apartment, flat, whatever you like to call it, is basically one conjoined kitchen and living room, and then I've got a separate bedroom. So I tend to go sort of in so many times. Normally my numbers are like 4, 7, 11. Sometimes I can go on and on until I feel that I've done it right. I think anybody who suffers with OCD and know exactly what I mean when I say do it right. To people who don't know, basically what I mean is when I feel in my mind that I've completed that task. So yes, that is one thing. Another thing is, of course, compulsion to washing hands. The amount of times I've been at the sink and washing my hands and also drying them a certain way, it's all evolved into my daily routine with it. Of course, being in a global pandemic, we've been told to wear face masks, something I've wanted to do for much longer, way before the pandemic. But walking around the UK with a face mask on before we had coronavirus, I think society would say, is she okay? Yes, it wouldn't have been so welcomed, but seeing as we are now unfortunately in a situation globally, we've been told to face mask up, shield, face shields and all of this. And of course, for me, that's another safety towards germs, not just coronavirus, but common colds, common flu, just getting ill, a fear of getting ill. And that is something I can go through in another video. Fear of getting ill. Fears that I have. It's stopped me from going on to adventures, trying out new things, even going into restaurants. I don't go into restaurants. I haven't done for years. When I was 10 and I was diagnosed with OCD, I didn't know quite what that actually meant at the time, of course. I was really quite sort of young and naive, and I was thinking, oh, well, whatever I'm doing right now feels right anyway. So just because it's got a name doesn't mean to say it. I don't know, I don't know what that means. I would soon find out exactly what I was suffering from, and also did some research on it and just got to know why I was doing it and why I'm coping with it, or why I still carry on to this day having it. And I am trying to help myself, of course. I'm trying to recover. I'm on medication. I'm on anxiety medication. Now, any of you that take medication for your depression, your anxiety, your OCD, anything that you are suffering, I hope there's going to be one or sort of two of you in that mix that gets worried about taking tablets. Now, I'm not averse to medication. It's not like I won't take it. Of course, it's the side effects of medication, and that also goes into sort of fear of getting ill, fear of the unknown. OCD, of course, fear of the unknown. If I don't do the things, if I don't do the routine, if I don't do the set of counting, that sort of thing where you get in your mind this thought that danger, you must do this, otherwise things could go terribly wrong. For me personally, when I get the compulsions and say I've tried to fight against them, my head's like, well, you can't eat that because that's going to make you ill, or you can't eat now because you haven't wiped the floor, you haven't counted enough times, something bad's going to happen. All of those horrible thoughts, and they are nasty, aren't they? I know exactly what you mean. I must admit, going to the supermarket, yes, another thing that I greatly suffer with. I don't get a basket and a trolley like everybody else in the supermarket. I carry my goods in my hand. The reason why that is, I don't want to cross-contaminate my goods with a trolley or with a basket. Now, for people of you that don't know what that means, that basically means I just don't want my goods in a trolley or a basket because I fear that there is germs on the trolley or a basket. I have thought about like getting an antibacterial wipe and wiping all of it down and doing it that way, and then going to do my shopping properly instead of getting a few items, which I do now, struggle all my way up to the self-serve checkout, which I always use. And of course then, even when I go to the self-service checkout and maybe I've got a little bit too much in my hands that ends up going on the floor, I can't have that, no way, that's been contaminated now. So I put the item aside, and so my somewhat full shop is now half a shop because half of it landed on the floor because I'm not using a proper, a trolley and a basket like everybody else. Oh, it is terribly frustrating. I hope there's somebody out there who can relate to this. If I don't have it in my hand, and I did have it in a trolley, no doubt that I wouldn't eat it after I bought it and I brought it home, because the compulsion, the thought process is far too strong in the belief that that food is now contaminated, therefore that will get me ill, and therefore that is dangerous. I have tried therapy, hypnotherapy for my OCD, even going back to my childhood to see if it's that. Quite honestly, I think it is linked to my childhood, which I can go into another video and explain about my childhood past and how that might relate to my unfortunate mental health at current. But yes, of course, wouldn't be able to eat the food. So, even going to the supermarket is absolute trauma. So there we go. And you see now, because we're in a pandemic here and in the lockdown, the only shops that are open are essential shops, i.e. supermarkets. So when I go out and about to do my shop, I really don't want to. It's not a joy. It's simply a absolute essential necessity in order for me to not starve. Yeah, it can affect also, my OCD can affect my food choices from the supermarket. I don't buy fresh fruit and vegetables off the fresh section, as I fear that people have touched them, and so that is also contamination. Proved very stressful because I'd like to eat better, but I have got that thing in the back of my mind. So it's a bit like when somebody when somebody can dish up a meal to you, it's been beautifully presented, beautifully cooked, but then all of the ingredients used were stuff off the fresh fruit and veg, and it was all open, and even though it's been cooked and boiled or baked, in OCD terms, it's still contaminated. And I hope when I'm saying all of these things and the way I'm saying it, somebody can relate to this. I'm really sorry if you clicked on this video and you don't actually know. I am trying to explain it, but it's quite hard. It's basically just about contamination, really. So hopefully you sort of get the gist from that. So yeah, so going to the supermarket is a sort of absolute essential and certainly not an enjoyment. It affects my food choices, as I say, fruit and vegetables, some sort of packed things. I don't like things that only pack once. I like things double wrapped. It's quite crazy. So it is affecting me really badly. So I'm really gearing to get on recovery once more. I mean, this probably would have been my 100th time. Spent lots of money, lots of my time through CBT, NLP, hypnotherapy. I hope there's somebody out there, unfortunately, I'm sure there is people out there who have had therapy and yet still struggle to this day, and I am so sorry to hear that. My heart goes out to you, it does. Hopefully this channel will bring you some sort of sanctuary to sort of say about your problem and feel like a problem shared is a problem halved. How else does my OCD affect me? Well, the counting for once, it drives me mad. Literally, going in and out of the rooms, and when I say that, it needs to be precise, I don't want the TV on, I don't want to listen to music, it has to be precisely done, or I have to start again. I've been sometimes caught in a trapped cycle of doing something 7 times. I've ended up doing it 30 times because, God forsake, it's not done right, or I looked in a certain direction and that was wrong, therefore I have to start again. It's absolutely horrible. As we went through the lockdowns, and as we've gone through each one after the other has got more progressively hard. I think everybody can agree that it's kind of, we all want to start getting back to sort of normal, as it was before, life as it was before. So I'm totally with you on that. First lockdown for me was as hard as a third, just because of my suffering with, of course, OCD. I think I've gone on for quite some time. It's 15 minutes in, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the video there, and I hope that I've sort of elaborated somewhat on how I cope with OCD, and hopefully there's someone out there who can relate. If you can, drop a comment below, make yourself be known, say as little as much as you want, but of course it's all public, and it's like when I'm coming on here, this is a public platform, so I'm laying myself bare for all to see with my difficulties. So this is a solid video to start a channel on, I thought. Hopefully there will be a lot more videos to come. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I think it's going to be sort of a little bit off the grid, a bit random. I hope everyone will be okay with that. If you're not, I'm really sorry. But let's all be friends if we can and get on. I know that's really difficult because we've all got opinions. But yes, I hope I've brought some healing to somebody, or simply they're not alone. Thank you very much for making it all the way through the video, and I hope to see you in the comments and we'll have a chatter. So until then, this is Emily Williams and I've been the Middle Eye Psych, and I hope you enjoy. Bye!